Okay, so last class we completed the Stark data structure. Today we will discuss the next important data structure, that is Q data structure. So Q is a linear data structure that allows insertion at only one end, that is called as the rear end, and deletion from the other end, that is called as the front end. You can see here in this data, in this diagram, you can see this is the Q and this is the front end, this is the rear end or back end, and insertion can be done at the rear end only. This is the rear end. Insertion can only be done at the rear end, and deletion can only be done from this front end. This insertion operation is known as NQ, and deletion operation is known as DQ. And this data structure is also known as first in first out type of data structure, because the element which is inserted first here, that is deleted first. You can see here this data item is inserted first, then this is inserted, then this is inserted, like this. So this is the last data item inserted, and this rear is pointing to this now, and front is pointing to this now, the first element. So whenever you want to delete some data item from this queue, so it can only be deleted from this front end only. And if you want to insert some other data item, some new data item you want to insert, that can only be done at this rear end. So that's why this is known as first in, first out type of data structure. In short, it is known as FIFO. This is Q data structure. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. You can see here in this diagram, this is one of the example of a queue. You can see persons are standing in a queue. This is the first person, this is the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person, like this. And if any new person is coming, then it will have to stand here at the end. And this end is known as rear. Rear is always pointing to the back end, and front is pointing to the, this front is pointing to the front end. So whenever any new data item, or if you consider all these persons are data, then if new person is coming, it is inserted here at the rear end. This is rear end, and if some person is removed from this queue, then that can only be done at this front end. You can see here this is removed. So this is the queue example. Okay. Now there are some basic operations on the queue data structure like other data structures. Among them, we will discuss here the three important operations. They are, the first one is insert operation. And this insertion operation is also known as NQ operation. Insertion means adding a new data item to the queue. And the next operation is delete operation, and this delete operation means removing or deleting a data item from the queue, and this is also known as DQ. Insertion known as NQ, and delete operation is known as DQ operation. Then traverse operation. Traverse means visiting all the elements of the queue. Okay. So these are the basic operations on the queue data structure. Let us see these operations in this diagram. As I told you that in a queue, the insertion is done at the rear end, and deletion is done at the front end. So these are the important terms used in the queue. We use this term front, we use, and the other term we use rear. And if you want to implement this queue, you can use this array, or you can use the other implementation, that is a linked implementation also you can use. In this slide, I have shown the array implementation, and this is a queue, and this is implemented using array, and array in array, as you know that the index of array starts from 0. So here it starts from 0. These are the indexes of the array. So index 0, 1, 2, and it goes up to index 7. So total in this array, total 8 elements uh, can be stored. So total 8 locations are there, and in these locations data can be stored. And here there are two pointers, two terms we are using. One is your front, and in short, here in this case we are representing this front as f, and the other term is rear, and in short we are representing this as r. So this front is the front end where data can be inserted. Sorry, front is the front end where data can be deleted, and rear is the rear end, that is back end, where data can be inserted. And initially, whenever there is no data item in the queue, that means the queue is empty. At that time, this front is -1 and rear value is also -1. You can see here, this is the queue where there is no data item present, and this is the empty queue. And in this case, see, if that is front is -1 and rear is also -1. You can see here, this front is pointing to -1 and rear is also pointing to -1. Both are pointing to -1, and all the indexes are there. You can see. So this is the first case. There is empty queue, and suppose you want to insert data item into this queue, and suppose we want to insert this 4 here. So that is inserted. 4 is inserted into this queue. So I told you that it can only be inserted at the rear end, and initially both the front and rear both are -1. And in case of queue, whenever you want to insert data item to the queue, first of all you have to increment the value of rear by 1, and after that you can insert the data item. So initially the rear value is -1, front also -1, both are -1, but we will insert data item at the rear. So you have to first increment the value of rear by 1. So that's where now r, that is rear, will be incremented by 1. So it will be -1 plus 1. So it will be 0. Now see, rear is pointing to 0. So now rear is, here you can see rear is pointing to 0. And then we can only insert data item at the rear position. Now rear is pointing to the 0th index. So we can insert this 4 here. And one more thing is that whenever we insert first data item into the queue, that means whenever the queue is empty and we are inserting the data item first time. Initially, whenever queue is empty, both the rear and front value is -1. And whenever we want to insert first data item, of course, we will increment the value of r by 1. And also we have to increment the value of f, that is front, by 1. So front should also point to this first element whenever we are inserting first data item. Okay. So first we inserted this 4 here. Before that we incremented this r value, then we inserted 4 here. And after that we have to increment this front value by 1, and this front is also pointing to this 0 index. Okay, 0 index means the first element it is pointing. And now after this, if you want to insert some more data items, then you have to increment, this is the same thing you have to apply. You have to increment this rear by 1. Okay, and then you have to insert the new data item, but the front will not be incremented now. Only the first time whenever the stack queue is empty, at that time only, after the insertion operation, the front will be incremented and it will point to the first element. And after that, if you are inserting data item to the queue, only the rear will be incremented, front will not be incremented. So here you can see I inserted 4, so that's why rear is 0 and front is also 0 because I incremented front. And then I'm inserting this 5 to this queue. So same thing, if you are inserting something, then you have to increment the value of r. So r was yeah, before this r was 0. Now you have to increment this r so by 1. So after increment it becomes 1. So r is pointing to now this 1. Then you insert 5 here. Then suppose we want to insert two more data items, 6 and 7. So we can insert one by one, not at once. At one time, I mean, uh, at a time you cannot insert two. You will insert one by one. So first of all, we will insert this 6. So here we this r is pointing to 1. So for inserting 6, you have to increment this r by 1. So it will point to this 2. Then you insert 6. Then again, you after inserting 6, you have to again increment this r by 1. So it is pointing to this, okay, this location. Then you can insert this 7. So it is inserted. Now you see here, we are inserting here 5, 6, 7. The r value is incremented. But the value of f is same as it is. It is 0. F is pointing to the first element, that is index 0. Right? And suppose you want to delete some item, some data item from this queue. So in case of deletion, the value of front will be incremented. In case of insertion, rear is incremented and then data is inserted. In case of deletion operation, data is deleted and after that, the front is incremented by 1. You have to remember this. In case of insertion, front is, in case of insertion, rear is incremented by 1. And in case of deletion, front is incremented. So this is happening. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now suppose I want to delete 5. Okay. Now tell me what will be the value of front and rear. Tell me.
Sir, front will be 6 and rear 7.
Front will be 2, rear will be 3.
Yes, front will be 2 and rear will be 3. Front will point to the index and value at that index is 6. Right? Front is pointing to the index value, this 2. Okay. And value at that index value is 6. Okay. And r is as it is 3 pointing to this third, 3 index, and the value at this location is 7. Okay. Now suppose I am inserting 2 more data items. Now what will be the value of rear? Which location rear will point now? I am inserting 2 data items. For insertion, what will be the value of r?
Sir, 5.
Yes, it will be 5. Okay. So this is happening in the insertion and deletion operation of queue. And this is known as linear queue. This is known as linear queue. Okay. Any question?
सर इसमें पॉप और पीक तो नहीं कर सकते?
Pop is used in stack. Pop is a term that is used in stack for deletion operation.
इसका
And,
मतलब हम लास्ट एलिमेंट को इससे नो सर पीक कैसे कर सकते हैं इसमें?
Yes,
क्यू में?
we can. Yes, we can do peak. Peak means we will access the element that is pointed by the front. फ्रंट जिसको पॉइंट कर रहे हैं उसको एक्सेस करने को बोलते हैं पिक, यहाँ पे क्यू. ठीक है
सर.
एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? So two things you have to remember here, that whenever you want to insert a data item, a new data item into the queue, before inserting you have to, what you have to do?
Increasing front and rear.
Yes, if the queue is empty, then you have to increase rear and front both. But the queue is not empty. Not empty. Tell me what to do. Queue is not empty.
So I have to check if the queue is full or not.
That I have not told you yet. I have not told you that yet. Okay. Yes, we will do that. I'm just asking you what to do with this rear and front. Suppose the queue is not full. Sorry, queue is not full.
Rear को increase करेंगे.
Yes, I'm asking that one. My question was the queue is not empty and queue is also not full. And we want to insert a new data item. Then what to do? Queue is neither empty nor full. And I want to insert a new data item into the queue. So first of all, what I have to do? Increment the rear. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
First increment
Yes,
the
sir.
rear by 1 and then insert. Okay. Okay. Another question. Suppose the queue is not empty and I want to delete a data item from the queue. Then
Increase count.
first font will be incremented or first data will be deleted, then front will be incremented.
Data will be deleted and the front will increase. Then
Yes,
front will
yes,
increase.
yes, yes. First data will be deleted, then front will be incremented. Okay. Okay. Now we will see the overflow condition and underflow condition of the queue. Okay. So overflow means the queue is full, and at that time, if you want to insert some data, then that is the overflow case. Data cannot be inserted. So if you are using array for implementing queue, you have to first define the size of array, and the size of array is actually the maximum number of elements that can be stored in the queue. And suppose the queue is full, that means queue is full means what? What will be the value of r? Can you tell me? If the queue is full, can you tell me what will be the value of r in case of
Size minus 1.
Size minus 1.
what is size minus 1?
Maximum size.
No, no. What value will be size minus 1?
6.
Huh?
6.
Front value or no? Not. I'm not asking that. Front value will be size minus 1 or rear value will be size minus 1?
Rear value.
So rear value.
Yes. Yes. If you increment like this and the rear will be pointing to this 7. Okay. See here in this queue, how many? What's the size of this queue?
8.
8. That means total 8 elements can be stored in this queue, and the index starts from 0 and goes up to 7. The data items are inserted in this queue, and suppose r is pointing to this 7 now. R is pointing to 7 means what? Data is inserted here at this location. So now we can say that queue is full. So when we can say that queue is full? When this value of r, when this r, that is rear, if rear is if rear is equal to what? Size minus 1. What is size? Size is the total number of elements in the queue. So size is here how much? 8. So 8 minus 1 is how much? 7. So if rear equals to 7, then at that time you can say that this queue is full and you cannot insert more data item. Okay. Then when can we say that the queue is empty? Can you tell what's the condition for queue is empty?
Front or rear minus 1.
Yes, front and rear both are minus 1. If front and rear both are minus 1, then we can say that queue is empty. This is the condition for empty, underflow condition. And when the queue is empty, you cannot delete data item from the queue. Okay. And there is one more condition also. If front value is more than rear value, then also we can say that the queue is empty. Okay. So we will discuss that later. Okay. Here you can see in this case, now our rear is pointing to 3 right? Now suppose we want to delete this 5. So after deletion of 5, this f value will be, what will be the value of f?
2.
Huh?
So
2.
2.
Okay. Again I am deleting 6. What will be the value of f?
So 3.
3. Now I am deleting 7. Now what will be the value of f?
4.
4. Now tell me, at that time queue is empty or some data are there in the queue?
Empty.
Empty. So this is another condition for empty. If front is greater than rear, then also we can say that queue is empty. Yes or no? So for empty, two conditions are there. If front is -1, then we can say, if front and rear both are -1, then we can say that queue is empty. Also, if front is greater than rear, then also we can say that queue is empty. Okay. And remember, this front and rear, these are actually pointing to the index of the array. Front rear values are the index values. Remember this. Okay. And don't say that front is 4, rear f is 4, or rear is 7. Don't say like that. Front means these index values, front or rear. Okay. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will move to the next slide. That is representation of queue. So to represent the queue data structure, we can use two methods. The first one is array representation, which is static representation, and the second one is linked representation, that is dynamic. And now we will discuss this array representation, the static one, and this linked representation we will discuss later. Okay. Okay. So in array representation of a queue, for array representation, we need a linear array. Suppose its name is Q of size n. N is the size of that array, and that array name is Q. You can give any name. Here I am giving the name Q. You can give any name, and its size is n. You have to define size of the array first of all. And the two variables we will use. The first variable we will use is front, and second variable we will use is rear. And these things we have already discussed in the previous slides. We will use a array, and that array we have to define its size. That is the maximum size. That is the total number of elements that can be stored in that array. And two more variables we will use. The first variable is front, the other one is rear. And data item can be inserted at the rear end, and deletion can be done at the front end. So this is the first point in case of array representation of a queue. Second point is, the variable front contains the location from the front element, and the variable rear contains the location of the rear element, that is a back element of the queue. This one also we discussed in the previous slide. Initially, when the queue is empty, both front and rear are -1. We know this. Initially, when the queue is empty, front and rear are -1. And later on, whenever an item or element is inserted into the queue, the rear value is incremented by 1. So during insertion, we know that rear value is first incremented by 1, and after that we insert. That's why the rear value is incremented during the insertion operation. It is incremented by 1 for each insertion. When rear value will be n-1, then the queue is full. We know this. N is the total size of the array or queue. That means total number of elements can be stored. And we know that the index starts from n. If you start the index from 0, then it will go up to n-1. So if the rear value is n-1, then the queue is full, and this is the overflow condition of the queue. At this point, you cannot insert data item to the queue because queue is full. Whenever one element is to be deleted from the queue, then the front value is incremented by 1. So this one also we discussed in the previous slide. During deletion operation from the queue, front value is incremented by 1. And in deletion, first of all, the value is deleted. After that, front is incremented by 1. Okay. When the queue is empty, that means front equals to -1 and rear equals to -1. At this time, if we try to delete an element from the queue underflow occurs. Underflow means it's a error situation. Means you cannot delete because there is no data item in the queue. You cannot delete. Whenever front is -1 and rear is -1. This is actually the empty queue. If queue is empty, then you cannot delete. The next one is when the queue is full. Queue is full means what? Rear equals to n-1, rear equals to n-1. So if this is the case, then if you try to insert a new element into the queue, then queue overflow occurs. Overflow means if you try to insert data item, then it will be overflow. Data cannot be inserted. Okay. The next point is when queue is inserted first time. First time means suppose if the queue is empty and you are inserting first data to the queue. Then front is incremented by 1 to point to the 0 index. This one also I discussed in the previous slide. Whenever you are inserting first data item into the queue, then you have to increment the value front by 1 also. So front should point to the first element. So these are the key points of array representation of a queue. Okay. Any question? Any questions, students? Okay. Any questions, students?
सर एक मिनट.
Yes. Okay.
सर थोड़ा प्रीवियस स्लाइड में जा सकते हैं?
Okay, sure. This one or this
सर
one?
हाँ.
Yes.
सर सर आप इन द क्यू सर वो फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट है, तो सर पहला एलिमेंट जो इंसर्ट होगा वही पहले आउट हो जाएगा.
Yes.
बट सर अगर यहाँ पे देखें तो 4 पहले इंसर्ट हुआ, तो सर फर्स्ट इंडेक्स पे
Who
जब
told
नया
you? Who told you? Okay. You are saying this one, no? 4 is inserted first.
हाँ सर फिर अगर हम एलिमेंट इंसर्ट करते हैं तब तो सर पहले मतलब फर्स्ट इंडेक्स में तो 4 रहना चाहिए, 5 सर कैसे हो?
No, your question I didn't get. I didn't understand your question.
सर
Tell me again.
मतलब जब हम इंक्रीमेंट कर रहे हैं तब सर जीरो इंडेक्स में तो सर 5 आना चाहिए सर. 5 1
Why 5?
मतलब
Why 5? We first inserted this 4.
हाँ सर.
First element inserted is which one? 4 is inserted first.
सर
Then 5 inserted. Then 6. Then 7. Okay. So this data structure is first in, first out. So first in which data is inserted first? In means inserted. So which data is inserted first? Tell me.
4
Huh?
4
4 is inserted first. So which will be deleted first?
हाँ yes sir I got it.
Okay. So this is first in, first out type of data structure. The data which is inserted first, that will be deleted first. Okay.
Yes sir.
इसको तुम ऐसे इमेजिन कर सकते हो कि तुम क्यू में खड़े हो, पहला तुम हो, ये तुम्हारे पीछे और कोई तुम्हारा फ्रेंड है, उसके पीछे और कोई है, उसके पीछे और कोई है. तुम मतलब मान लो कि रेलवे का टिकट बुकिंग करने के लिए खड़े हो, तो यहाँ पर टिकट बुकिंग हो रहा है, तो कौन पहले टिकट बुकिंग करेगा, करके बाहर निकलेगा, कौन करेगा?
सर मैं करूँगा.
तुम करोगे. यहाँ पर तुम हो, 4 नंबर तुम हो, तो तुम ही करके निकलोगे ना.
Yes sir.
So this is first in, first out data structure. The data which is inserted first, that will be deleted first. Okay. Any other question, students? Okay. Okay. Now we'll discuss the insertion algorithm, insertion operation and insertion algorithm in the linear queue. So in insertion, I told you that data item is inserted in the rear end, and you can see here, this is the queue, and suppose we have this situation. So now we want to insert a new data. Suppose D is the data to be inserted. Okay, and before D, this is the situation. Front is pointing to A. Here in this case, I'm inserting character data, right? Um, in previous slides, I show you the integer data insertion and deletion. Here I'm showing character. So front is now pointing to this okay, this location. Rear is pointing to this location, and suppose I want to insert this D. So D will be inserted here. And before insertion, rear value will be incremented first. So rear is incremented and is pointing to this now, and then this D is inserted. Okay. And suppose this location, this index is 0, and this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So now rear is 3. Okay. So after insertion, this is the case. We get this. This is the status after insertion. And insertion operation is known as NQ. Okay. Any question? Any question in this diagram?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Now we'll discuss the insertion algorithm of linear queue. So this is the algorithm. Okay, algorithm starts from here. So LQ insert is the procedure, and we will pass what we will give as input to this algorithm. We will give the Q as in Q as input. Q is a array, right? And n is the Q size, that is array size. Okay, and the rear value will also give, front value will also give. Rear value, front value, that will give current status of the queue. From that we can know whether the queue is empty or the queue is full. From that we can know. That's why these are the input values given to this algorithm. So Q, that is Q array is given, then size of the queue is given, rear value given, front value given to this algorithm, and data item is the data that is to be inserted into the queue, that is also given as the input to this algorithm. Okay. Now step one is we will first check whether the queue is full or not, because we want to insert data item into the queue. So before insertion, you must check whether the queue is full or not. If the queue is full, then you cannot insert. So full means what? It is overflow condition. If you want to insert a data item if the queue is full, that is known as overflow condition. So you check whether the queue is full or not. So how to check? What's the condition for queue full? This is the condition. We just discussed this. So if rear is equals to n minus 1, n, what is n? N is the total size of the queue, and the index starts from 0. That's why the rear value will go up to maximum n minus 1. So if the value of rear equals to n minus 1, then print this message that q is q overflow and return. Q overflow message you have to print. But the queue is full, you cannot insert value, and return. Return means you exit from the program, because queue is full, so no need to further proceed. Okay. And in step 2, if rear is less than n minus 1, that means this condition is not satisfied. That means queue is not full. That is this one. If rear is less than n minus 1, then queue is not full. So what to do? First of all, you have to increment the value of rear by 1. So set rear equals to rear plus 1. And after that, you insert the value. So how to insert? It is just assign the value to this array. So q rear equals to item. So this rear is what? It is actually index of the array, right? So q, this rear equals to item. We are assigning the value. Okay. And the next condition we are checking, if front equals to minus 1, this is the case, empty queue case. If the queue is empty, and if queue is empty, then what to do? Empty means both the front and rear both are -1. So we are incrementing rear during insertion. That's fine. But you have to increment the value of front also whenever you are inserting the first element into the queue. So that's why you are checking here to check whether the front value is -1 or not. If the front is -1, then you set it to 0. Means increment front by 1. Just set it to 0. That means set front equals to 0. You have to do this. Okay, and then exit. So this is the insertion algorithm in queue. Any question? Any questions, students?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now C function for this insertion in queue is here. You can see. So void mm, LQ insert. LQ means linear queue insert. Okay, and here I'm not passing. I'm just passing the item. Data item I'm passing. We can pass like here in this algorithm. You can pass these things also. Okay, but in while writing programs, we normally what we do, this queue and front rear, you can declare this globally. Okay, while writing programs, you can declare these things globally. So that whenever you do some insertion operation or deletion operation, then it will be updated everywhere wherever it is used. Okay, so that's why here in the C function code only data item I have kept here. So whenever you want to insert a data item into the queue, just call this function and pass this data item whatever you want to insert. That's why only data item I have kept here. Okay, so here data item I have taken integer value. So for other data item you can take as like likewise. Okay, so void LQ insert for linear queue. Okay, LQ insert an int item, and here we are checking the overflow condition. If rear equals to n-1, then print this message that printf queue overflow, then return. Return means will exit from the program. If rear less than n-1, then what to do? Just increment the rear value, rear plus plus, and then q rear equals to item. Okay, and then again check whether the value of front is -1 or not. So if front equals to -1, then set front equals to 0. Okay, so this is the C function code for insertion operation in a linear queue. Okay, any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So now we will discuss the deletion operation in linear queue. So in deletion, suppose you can see in this diagram, this is a queue, and front is pointing to this element, okay, and rear is pointing to this, okay. Suppose this is the zeroth index, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now front is pointing to zeroth index, and rear is 3, okay. So this is the case. We have the current status is this. Now we want to delete this one A. Of course, data item is deleted from the front end only. So if you want to delete, you can just delete this front item only. Okay. So if you want to delete from this queue, you will delete this A. So after deletion, you see this is deleted, and then front value is incremented. So front is now here. Initially front was 0. Now it will be incremented to 0.21. This one. Okay, this is known as DQ operation. Okay, so any question? Question, student?
No, sir.
Now the algorithm you can see here. LQ delete is the procedure name. We are passing a queue passing front, rear, and item we are passing. Okay, so item means the whatever data item you will delete, then that will be stored in this item. Okay. Now step one, we will check whether the queue is empty or not. So for that, we have to check whether the front value is -1 or not. So whenever front is -1, that means the queue is empty. Because you know, whenever you insert something, front is incremented to 0.20. So whenever you see, if you want to check empty queue, you can just check front value only. Okay, This is the first case. The other case is the front greater than rear, that can also consider. Okay. So here, see, it is checked. If front equals to -1, then print Q is under point return. Okay. And if this is not satisfying, then do this, set item equals to Q front, and then if front equals to rear. Okay. See, if you are deleting, okay, and there is a situation when front value is same as the rear value. So this was actually the same case. We were deleting the last item in the queue. Yes or no? So after deleting that, what will be the case? The value of the front will actually be more than the value of rear. Okay. That means the queue becomes empty. Okay. So after deleting the last element of the queue, okay. So what will happen? The queue will become empty. So when the queue is empty, then what to do? You just initialize front equals to -1 and rear equals to -1. Yes or no? We are deleting item. First condition is checked. If front value -1 only. If front is -1, that means the queue is empty. You cannot delete. And if this is not satisfying, that means what, some elements are there. Then you delete. Okay. Before deleting, you just assign the value to this item. Okay. And then if front equals to rear, then you do this. Otherwise, if front is not equal to rear, then you just increment the value of front. Set front equals to front plus 1. Okay. Then exit. So this is the algorithm for deletion operation in the queue. Okay. So any question? Any questions, students? Okay. So this is the C function to delete an element from the queue. Okay. So void LQ delete, and int item if front equals to -1, then print this message underflow and return. Else item equals to Q front. Okay. And then we're checking if front equals to rear. Okay. That means there is only one element in the queue. Then what to do? Delete that element, and then you assign this front equals to -1 and rear equals to -1. Else if there is not only one element, that means more elements are there, then you just increment the front value by 1, front plus plus. Okay. And then print the element that is deleted. So print a deleted element is personally done. Okay. So this is the C function code for deleting an item from the linear queue. Okay. Any questions, students?
No, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
with this, your time is over, and we will discuss the rest in the next class. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.